Welcome to section 2 of the course, where we'll be focusing on setting up Jupyter Notebooks. The Jupyter Notebook is going to be our best friend throughout this class. Jupyter is an open source web application that allows you to create and share documents that contain live code, like Python, visualizations, like graphs, charts, and tables, and explanatory text, written in the Markdown syntax. People use Jupyter Notebooks for data manipulation, statistical modeling, data visualization, machine learning, and so much more. It is a great tool that is easily shareable with others using email, Dropbox, GitHub, or the Jupyter Notebook viewer. The best part about Jupyter Notebook is the fact that it has interactive output. This means we can easily break our project down into smaller parts and approach it one block of code at a time. It is ideal for teaching and learning Python because the output is directly below the input. It's really nice for beginners. For installing and launching Jupyter, first things first, we need to visit the Jupyter Notebook website. Follow the instructions after clicking the Install the Notebook option, but you may have noticed that we have already installed Jupyter using pip in the previous section. Once we've installed Jupyter Notebook, we can find our way to our class project folder in the terminal and activate our virtual environment. Alright, let's make sure we go to our current working directory, which is our MBA Pandas class folder. And remember, we need to activate our virtual environment with the following command: source venv bin activate. And after we activate our virtual environment, we can tell that it's active. And let's actually switch, go one folder deeper into our projection model. Which is where we will launch our Jupyter Notebook. So to launch the Jupyter Notebook, we run the following command in our terminal. Just Jupyter Notebook. This is how we launch the Jupyter Notebook from our terminal. The command will launch a local web server that will be visible to your browser. It should spit out a log that looks like this. Now notice how the Jupyter Notebook application automatically opened in our Chrome browser, or the default browser of our choice. If it doesn't open a new tab automatically, you can select the URL manually. So right here you see this URL, and if we were to copy and paste it, we would get to the same point. Now you should see the following on your screen. The notebook will always default to the Files tab, where we will create new notebooks. Now our folder is empty currently, but we will create a new notebook. To create a new notebook, go to the top right and click the New button. You'll see we have options, but right now we are going to want to choose Python 3. After selecting Python 3, you should see a new notebook automatically created. The notebook is like our own little sandbox environment where we have our installation of Python. We need to always make sure we're in the correct directory when we create a new notebook. Each notebook will be named Untitled initially. One thing I've learned over the years is how important it is to name your files in an effective manner. For simplicity's sake, we will name our notebooks after each section of the class. Let's name our first notebook Python Basics, since that's where we will start. Click the rename, and you'll see here it is named properly. Now if we go back, you may notice after naming your notebook that the file will have an extension IPYNB. You'll see this both in Jupyter Notebook interface as well as in your files and the terminal view. This file is actually a text file that describes the notebook in JSON. Another helpful feature in this view is seeing which files are currently running, which will be denoted by the notebook color being green. It is typically gray if it is not running. You can see when you last modified or saved the file, and often the grouping of the file's type. If you ever want to stop your notebook, you can select this notebook and shut it down. And again, you'll see how the notebook color changed from green to gray. The Jupyter Notebook dashboard will show only files and folders within the startup directory, which we get from the folder or current working directory we ran our Jupyter Notebook command from. You may also notice that the URL has localhost in it. This is because the notebook is being served from our own computer or local machine. Jupyter starts a local Python server to serve the apps to the web browser. This is what makes it portable across systems. If we go back to our terminal view, you'll see that it is currently running. Now we can also shut down Jupyter from here by running Control-C, and it will ask if we want to shut it down with Y, yes. And just like that, we are out of our Jupyter Notebook. It will no longer be running. And once again, to launch it, it would be Jupyter Notebook. And again, if we wanted to go into our Python basics file that we created. Great. In the next section, we will review common Jupyter Notebook features that we will want to get acquainted with. See you there.